In a classroom, a student wakes up another student named Blair, and as soon as he wakes up, Blair asks if this is a dream. Miss Brittany is calling him because he's been sleeping in class. The girl telling him to wake up is cute, and the teacher in front of the class is the math teacher. Personally, I don't like math, but if the teacher is this charming, that's a different story. I might even be falling in love with her. Just then, the teacher calls Blair to the board to solve a question, pulling him out of his daydream. And as I look at her, me is completely smitten. The question he needs to solve now assign as homework and says to check the answer in the next class. One of Blair's classmates laughs and taunts him, saying he couldn't solve even a simple equation in 3 days. But then, a miracle happens. Blair confidently writes out the answer, something that no one else expected him to know. The class, including this cute teacher named Brittany, is surprised, and Blair feel libidinous and ask for go to the toilet. On the way towards restroom, he remembers that in his previous life, he was a math teacher who dedicated his entire life to mathematics and was even about to receive an award as a senior professor. But he died when he gets duty of investigator in exam, or probably his student kill him, because every student dreams is to beat their teacher, but killing is off the board. Now he thinks this world has math a great occupation, but all of them are dumbass in this world, and now he gets motivated by in this world he can become the world's greatest mathematician. Later, towards classroom, Blair collides with a beautiful girl in the hallway, and he feels completely captivated. He reaches out his hand to help her up, but things take an unexpected turn. What the hell he tries to do, just leave her alone. Now really for help he reaches out his hand, but that girl calls him pervert and he don't know what happened. Then girl tell him this same incident happened in the freshers party where you do this same shit, and without acknowledging his own mistake, Blair jokingly accuses the girl of being at fault. The girl then begins casting fire magic, and Blair, amused, dismissively says, "Oh, you're going to perform magic? Watch my Ola Beulah black magic." But to his shock, she somehow summons fire, and at this moment, he realizes he's in a magical world. Just as the girl is about to attack him with a fireball, this pervert quickly apologizes, leaving her feeling embarrassed. She replies to Blair's apology, but in the meantime, Blair vanishes. While running away, Blair is wondering what's happening in this world. Suddenly, he feels a pain in his head and recalls some childhood memories. He remembers that his father had died for the country, but the scene doesn't seem as straightforward as it appears. Servants whisper, questioning what kind of noble has to work and is poor. Blair shares the news of his admission with his mom, who simply sees him as his dad, a royal knight. Even as the son of a knight, Blair's family is financially unstable, and his magic abilities are limited, which makes him a joke in the class. Anyone else might have slipped into depression, but with friends like this adorable one, it feels like heaven. This cute friend's name is Jasmine. Jasmine takes Blair to the magical theory class, where blah 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 is being taught. Blair starts thinking, magic exists, but using it requires talent. After class, Blair goes straight to the teacher and asks if there's a way to use magic without having a natural talent for it. As expected, the answer is that it's impossible to use magic without magical talent. Just then, Blair's classmates start bullying him, but someone steps in to stop them, saying, "If I have one piece of bread, half of it belongs to Blair." That person is Toby, Blair's friend, who then leaves. Jasmine approaches Blair and tells him that Miss Brittany, yes, the cute teacher I have a crush on, wants to see him. Blair noticed her from the morning and seems she want to say something, but she can't. He brushes it off. He reflects that although he might have knowledge of math, he lacks magic abilities in this world. However, he decides to try one last time to summon a fireball. At first, nothing happens, but suddenly, some smoke appears, and then fire. He is in shock. Blair manages to create a fireball, and he becomes as excited as a kid who's just gotten an ice cream. He starts to think that with the arrival of this new soul, he's gained magical talent. Amid all this excitement, he momentarily forgets about Miss Cutie. When he finally reaches her room and knocks, he accidentally introduces himself with his name from his previous life. And why shouldn't he? Just look at her figure and that pose, it melts his heart. Brittany gently calls him in and explains that she has a habit of standing this way while doing calculations. Oh, those thick thighs. Brittany hands Blair a pen and gives him a random addition problem to solve. As soon as Miss Cutie turns to leave, Blair quickly finds the answer, surprising everyone. The class clown, known for not understanding anything, has suddenly solved the problem with lightning speed. Curiously, Brittany asks him how he did it, and Blair, the former math teacher in his previous world, explains a new method called the sequential addition operation. Brittany doesn't quite understand, but Blair insists it's the only way to solve it, though he mischievously hides the truth and explains it incorrectly. I am saying, We don't need to study so much math. Let's move to the conclusion. Oh, she looks so cute when she's focused on studying. Blair finishes by saying, here's the formula. Solve it with sequential addition, and anyone would be amazed. This time, she finally understands and says, you're a genius. Brittany is overjoyed. Hey, where that hand goes? Hey, you jackass met me outside the school. She is mine. This makes the situation more embarrassing. Then Miss Cutie asks if he wants to become a mathematician, but Blair without hesitate to answer that his real goal is to become a magician, even without magic talent. As Brittany reaches for his hand again, Blair gently pulls his hand away and declares, I want to become a magician. As for becoming a mathematician, I can become one in an instant if I put some theories. Hearing this, Miss Brittany challenges him with a bet regarding his upcoming magic test at the end of the month. She says that if he passes, she doesn't interrupt in his decision, but if he fails, he'll have to follow any command she gives. With complete confidence, Brittany walks away, and Blair agrees to the deal. After making the bet, Blair is wandering around the hallway and, once again on the same day, he bumps into the same girl he had previously run away from after apologizing. She's ready to confront him again, but he dashes away faster than light. Afterward, that girl goes to Miss Brittany's room, where Brittany calls her by her name, Isabella. Isabella tells Brittany that there's a pervert roaming around the school, and she's already run into him twice. Brittany replies, if he's bumped into you, he's probably not just a pervert but also really unlucky. Next time I run into him, I'll burn him. Just as one would expect from Isabella. Then, dismissing the pervert topic, Isabella hands over her homework, saying, here, ma'am, I completed it in just half an afternoon, around 3 to 4 hours. My math problem-solving speed is far beyond anyone else's, and I'll probably even surpass your speed. Brittany responds, yeah, you might, but Blair solved this in just a minute. Shocked, Isabella asks, who's Blair? I've never heard of him, and he's faster than me. Brittany explains that he's the one who used the method provided by their great mathematician. Using logarithms and other techniques, Blair had made it look simple. Hearing this, a spark of curiosity lights up in Isabella's eyes as she decides she wants to meet Blair, not knowing he's the very same pervert. Isabella, full of confidence, swaggers into the classroom with a gentle kick on the door and demands, come out, Blair. Toby, surprised, wonders why Isabella is asking about Blair, while Blair hides under his desk. After a moment, Isabella says, let him know I need to see him if he shows up, and leaves. Once she's gone, Blair comes out, and Toby asks, what did you do to her, man? Only then does Blair realize her name is Isabella, and he asks, who is Isabella? Toby says, do you know how many followers she has? Isabella is like a goddess in this academy. Blair responds, nobody can do anything in this academy, but you might not know which kingdom this academy falls under. Toby retorts, Baker Street. Where did Baker Street even come from? This academy is in the city of Apollo. Blair sighs, I thought you just did stupid things, but you really are stupid. And one more thing, Isabella's father is the lord of this city. Blair begins to worry, but then thinks, wait, maybe if I apologize, she'll forgive me. Toby, oh, so you actually touched her. Suddenly, a voice from behind speaks up. It's Bud, who usually bullies Blair. Bud taunts him, saying Blair only has a few days left in the academy. This academy has produced magicians, philosophers, and mathematicians, but they all had one thing in common, magical abilities. For this you need to clear the magic test that is as easy as walking in garden. Then Bud calls Blair an orphan, to which Toby stands up for him, saying, you want to fight? Blair is my friend, and don't call him an orphan. They leave, and Blair turns to Toby, if Isabella tries to make trouble for me, will you back me up? Toby replies, of course, I'll hold back when I beating you up. Blair depressed. A few days later, during the magic test, the rules are simple. If you fail, you're out, and if you pass, you continue. Bud is the first to go and passes with ease. Eventually, Toby also passes with a small fireball. The teacher hesitates to call on Blair, thinking it will only embarrass him, and almost announces the test is over. But someone steps in and says that Blair's test is still pending. The teacher asks Blair if he wants to take the exam, and Blair accepts. His classmates laugh at him, and soon, the entire academy gathers, curious to see if this magicless kid can use magic. Even Toby checks in, asking if he'll be okay, to which Blair confidently replies, Yes. With the entire academy, including his crush Miss Brittany, watching, the examiner tells Blair to begin. Blair starts his attempt with a command hula bola fireball. At first, nothing happens except a gust of wind and everyone laughs at him. But then, a fireball appears so powerful that it's larger than any other in the class combined, even burning the target entirely. The whole crowd is stunned, wondering how it's even possible. Blair passes the test, and it's all thanks to Bud. At the end, his best friends tease him. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.